And well, controversy's favourite child, Gopal Varma, has now apologised for his sexist tweet on Women's Day. But he, however, didn't fail to take a dig at his detractors while apologising. He said that his apology was not meant for those who threatened to take law into their own hands. He was, of course, referring to bitter reactions, especially from politicians like NCP's Jitendra Ahwad and Vidya Chavan, who threatened to beat Verma up with slippers. Remember, the filmmaker faced brickbats for tweeting that all women should learn to give pleasure to men like Sunny Leone. And meanwhile, even as we saw all those political reactions streaming in yesterday, actor Sunny Leone, who was the target, of course, of Gopal Varma's distasteful tweets, has broken her silence. And this is the message, or rather piece of advice, that she has for the filmmaker.
Hey everyone, I read all the news today and I believe that change only happens when we have one voice, so choose your words wisely.
मैं भी यही कहती हूँ कि हर महिला को जो कहा है गोपाल वर्मा जी ने प्लेजर देना चाहिए, तो हाँ, अब चौका चूल्हा हटा के अब थोड़ा प्लेजर कैसे देना है, तो उसे आप कोचिंग क्लासेस ले लीजिए एंड या बिल्कुल गोपाल वर्मा जी मैं आपके साथ हूँ.
I believe everybody does have the freedom of speech, but you know there's some limits that should be crossed, and it's sad that some people aren't aware of that and aren't educated enough.
Alright, let's once again listen into what Sunny Leone had to say about this entire controversy. Remember, she's been in the eye of the storm because Gopal Varma had actually tweeted about, and she's got a piece of advice of sorts for the controversial filmmaker. Listen into what she posted earlier on social media.
Hey everyone, I read all the news today and I believe that change only happens when we have one voice, so choose your words wisely. Hey everyone, I read all the news today and I believe that change only happens when we have one voice, so choose your words wisely. Hey everyone, I read all the news today and I believe that change only happens when we have one voice, so choose your words wisely. Hey everyone, I read all the news today and I believe that change only happens when we have one voice, so choose your words wisely.
Okay, let's go across to Sushant Mehta, who joins us live with more details on this story. Sushant, finally Gopal Varma apologizing, but possibly too little too late, because Sunny Leone too has spoken out. Her word of advice to Gopal Varma is choose your words wisely.
Yeah, not the first time that I think he's heard those words. Choose your words wisely. He's always been hearing that. And I've been cribbing about this, Akshata. Why are we covering this story? You know, RGV always makes these statements. Last time when he spoke about Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, racist comments, insensitive comments. But to understand this whole episode, you know, it is a really important one because RGV was, if I remember now, I've forgotten, but he was my favorite director coming out from the 90s. You know, he gave us Rangila, epic film. Rahman spoke to me extensively about what a master RGV was, and it's come to this today that from being this master storyteller, he has become the story himself. You know, in his mid-50s, he's really looking forward to attention. Is he being insensitive? I don't think RGV is insensitive, but he's arrogant and ignorant. He's been sending me tweets, he's been sending me some articles, that's been posting some articles. Let's see where it all started from. This is the tweet that started it all. I wish all women in the world gave men as much happiness as Sunny Leone gives. And subsequently, he posted a lot of other tweets justifying that tweet. My mom, sister, daughter, my grandmother mainly respect me for my honesty in openly expressing my respect towards Sunny Leone's honesty. Seems a little confused. Finally, let's just jump to, we had the whole altercation with Jitendra Ahwad. Let's just jump to today. You know, he has retweeted this article, which is a very good article by Devrishi Ghosh, one of our writers for IndiaToday.in. And he says, thanks Devrishi Ghosh for at least half understanding of my guns, thighs and tweets. The other half, even I don't understand. Basically, you must check out this article. It basically compares RGV and talks about morality and how RGV is basically misunderstood. And it compares him to even, you know, gives a little fun of Friedrich Nietzsche. But if you compare Friedrich Nietzsche and if you go into philosophy and psychology, you will be able to justify everything. The problem with RGV right now is I think his work has taken a backseat. He's fishing for attention. He has more than 2.5 million followers on Twitter. So whatever he says is going to make an impact. I think he needs, as Sunny Leone put it brilliantly, he needs to choose his words wisely. And coming to Sunny Leone, I've been interviewing Sunny Leone for the good part of her career. For a woman who was very scared to enter India, you know, she almost cancelled that Big Boss, that whole deal when she was flying down to India. It was a big deal for her because in the United States she used to get threats, because being from the Indian community, she used to get threats all the time for being an adult star. So she was very skeptical about coming to India, but she got so much love in this country with all sort of fans, you know. Little girls would come up to them, parents would take their little girls up to her and say, can you dance with her on Baby Doll? So Sunny Leone's been through a lot in her career. I think she's going to take this in her stride. But coming back to RGV, this whole episode and finally his apology, I think he believes that he's being misunderstood, but rather than being the master storyteller that he was, he's now being the story himself, and it pains me to see that he's reduced himself to this level.
Absolutely. And Sushant, before we discuss, you know, Sunny Leone is replying in greater detail. Mr. Jitendra Awad of the NCP is joining us over the phone lines. Mr. Awad, you've had a battle of sorts, a word battle with Ram Gopal Varma over the last few days over this controversial tweet by him. He's now apologized, but he's added a caveat to that apology, saying that this is not for those lawmakers who threatened me.
गिर गए तो भी टांग ऊपर, ऐसे एक हिंदी में कहावत है. There is a saying that the one who falls also, his legs are still up. So I would not like to comment. His apologies are important. I think he is sensitive, and probably I think his mother must have scolded him, or his Masi or his Chachi must have scolded him for this idiotic tweet of his. And then, but the story is, I think it was Amitabh Bachchan who told him to apologize, because Sarkar 3 is being released, and all the parties, major political parties of Maharashtra had jumped into it, and probably if he would not have apologized, things would have taken a different turn.
Mr. Awad, I request you to stay on with us. I want to take more questions with you. But before that, I also wanted to listen into what Sunny Leone has to say about this entire controversy. We're just going to play that out and go back to Mr. Awad.
Hey everyone, I read all the news today, and I believe that change only happens when we have one voice, so choose your words wisely. Hey everyone, I read all the news today, and I believe that change only happens when we have one voice, so choose your words wisely.
You know, Mr. Awad, I agree that what Mr. Ram Gopal Varma said was very insensitive, was definitely very derogatory and very controversial. Having said that, at the same time, you see how Sunny Leone has reacted. You know, she's taken the mature stand on this, and she's given a word of advice to people to choose words wisely. And I'm not siding with Ram Gopal Varma here, but is it right at the same time in a democracy like ours to issue wild threats? You know, you've said that you retreat, you take back your comment, or you will face serious consequences. We had another leader, Miss Vidya Chavan, saying that he will be slippered. There are several people who are saying he will not be allowed to shoot anymore. Is this the right way to approach such a controversy?
My indication was that we will be agitating, and there is a law operative at this juncture in Mumbai that you are not allowed to gather. For a gathering of 5 persons and above is treated as an unlawful assembly. So I wanted to inform police also that there might be an unlawful assembly because we were going to agitate. And I had only said that you will have to pay the agitative consequence. I did not say that I will beat him up. I did not say that I will harm Ram Gopal Varma. I said that I will agitate, and I think agitation is my political right.
Okay. Mr. Awad, you know, when we talk about Mr. Ram Gopal Varma, he has been someone who's been very controversial in the recent past, especially as far as his tweets are concerned. You go through his timeline and you'll see a number of controversial tweets, a number of headline makers as well. But at the same time, also, Mr. Ram Gopal Varma has pointed out that this is a democracy. I have a right to express my own opinion. And yes, he's apologized today after many days, but he maintains that, you know, we shouldn't be lashing out at him in such a manner, that he has a right to express his views. And he's also lashed out at you, saying that Mr. Awad can speak out, but if I express my views, I will be threatened.
I said, we don't speak and humiliate people like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Chandrasekhar, Narasimha Rao. Have you seen his tweets about Narasimha Rao and Chandrasekhar and Atal Bihari Vajpayee? Has he any class to talk about Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Chandrasekhar and Narasimha Rao? He should must maintain his limits while he talks.
Okay, Mr. Awad, my final question to you. Are you happy now that Ram Gopal Varma has come out and apologized? Days later, it's taken quite a bit of time for him to realize, but he's actually taken the step now and apologized for that tweet.
I have tweeted that I said thanks, Mr. Ram Gopal Varma. Don't forget that you also have a mother who is a woman. And the second thing I have said is stop your humiliating, insulting personal tweets.
Okay, all right, we got the message. Thank you, Mr. Jitendra Awad, for speaking to India Today. Ram Gopal Varma, after nearly 3-4 days of controversy, has finally decided to come out with an apology. Even as Sunny Leone, of course, has taken the mature stand and given a piece of advice to the filmmaker, saying choose your words wisely. We'll track that story closely, but it's time.